Top of the whenever to all my Godlights. Great day to you, great whenever to you. It is I am he, I am she, I am share. I am here to have a little, spill a little cosmic tea with you today. The last time I made a video, I was talking about our new moon that has appeared. I still don't know that body's name, but if anyone's curious who doesn't know, our original moon, her name is Luna. Our planet Earth, that's Gaia. So those are two names. I haven't found the names, but there are additional things that are going to be coming up, and I don't know those names, but I wanted to talk a bit more about those things as it relates to my previous video. Like I said in my previous video, I was talking about the two moons. But so today I am here. I'm going to be talking about convoluted consequences by Arc Intelligence. Con, C-O-N, and Arc, A-R-C. That's what I'm talking about. I am not referring to archangels or archdemons. Not them. I'm talking about the others. So now that this moon is present, I want to tell you about some very important things that are going to be made apparent. All of the things that are taking place. We are in life path 9. This is the 18th life path 9. Yep, this is going to be the 18th friggin' time down this road. Anyway, the things that take place in this life path 9 will be made manifest and transmute into the final life path 15, when this Earth's, the 3D Earth body form, will no longer exist. However, there are some very unsavory things that take place in this life path that will be resulting in the consequences that are seen in the final life path, beginning with events that spirits call Tingling Tuesday. That started with, thank you, Mr. President, thank you. That was sarcasm. That started with January 13th, Inauguration Day. The following day was the first Tingling Tuesday. That event was an effect on one body form that affected the entire Earth collective as a result of actions that was taken place the day before, 24 hours before. What happened the day before was several things. One, there was the inauguration, the swearing in of Donald Trump, as well as events in the unseen where 1,000 individuals across the world performed a ceremony to attempt to transfer the wealth of one individual to Donald Trump, um, in order to unalive that person, as well as to break someone out of prison. That was Lucifer. And attempt to pull him through earth portals, physical portals, as well as interdimensional portals. Anyway, that was the trigger event for the first Tingling Tuesday. The following two Tingling Tuesdays were earthquakes that ended up taking place in Alaska as a result of the person I mentioned prior. That was the beginning of the sequences of events. I'm bringing these things up because, like I said, the events that take place in Life Path 9 transmute into the final Life Path, Life Path 15. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, oh my God, that's bullshit, blah, 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 blah. I don't really care, because these are things that have happened to me. But some of these things are going to be made apparent in ways that are undeniable, and these are going to be consequences that everyone will have to deal with. When you do a con, there are sequences, and I'm going to now tell you about sequences that consequences happen in three groups of three, and I'm going to tell you about three things that are going to happen in twos. So first have already happened, which are the moon. We now have two moons. The next thing that's going to happen is there are going to be two additional oceans that are going to become apparent due to a split. The first one is going to be a split in the continent of Africa. The second one is going to be a split in India, and new oceans will appear as a result of the changes in those land masses, right? And after that, the next, well, I don't want to say the next, I'm talking about major undeniable changes. The next thing, I think it's going to become apparent next after that will be the appearance of pause. Now, I can sense that the split in Africa has already begun. I am not sure if the split in India is being felt physically, much less seen. I'm not sure, but if it is not seen within the eye, it will be felt over the next few weeks. Next is going to be our sun. We are going to note very soon that we have two suns. You're going to look up one day and there's just going to be another sun. We're going to have two. Funny how that happens. So 2 moons, 2 new oceans, 2 suns, that equals 6, right? 3 things happening, totaling 6 within Life Path 9 that transmutes to something rather severe in Life Path 15. This also relates to the devil, as in tarot, the devil. And what that means is very, I'm not even sure how to explain that part, how it relates to the devil, without just saying I'm not talking about any animated monster. I'm talking about the role of Con, C-O-N, and cults and covens, individuals within these groups living and performing acts from their lowest point, and they are definitely in their devil energy. And I bring that up because I've spoken up for myself before, and it has been brushed under the rug. This relates to abuses done to children. The things that are happening in this life path result in loss of life and siphoning of life that is then transmuted and manifest into wealth for handlers, beneficiaries, and benefactors. Okay. Now, this relates to the United States, this part that I'm about to say. All of time happens at the same time. Time in itself is not a real concept, right? So the end has already happened. It's almost like a centipede. In Jamaica, we call centipedes 40 legs, right? A 40 leg or a centipede moving along, when it stops and it reaches its final destination, the head arrives way before that final 40th leg, right? We are all approaching throughout our existence like we're legs, kind of like relay race, right? Each individual is experiencing it in their own, as an individual within a collective body, right? Now, I pointed out those land or bodies. I need to talk now about a bigger body form that connects with three. The United States is sandwiched in between Canada and Mexico. I don't enjoy talking about this. I've been avoiding it for quite some time, but okay, I'm just gonna spit it out. Okay, in a future time, I have no idea when this is going to be made manifest as yet, but I'm going to talk about it now because it relates to what's happening in my life now, as well as earth events happening now, as well as government events happening now within the United States. This affects immigration, SNAP, all politics, events. These are the effects of what has happened unseen. It will be made seen. What will be made seen? There's going to be a shift. The United States consists of 50 states, and there's going to be an event that is quite tragic, and that is going to drop it from 50 states to less than a dozen. Really, it's going to be 5. 5 states will have habitable potential. However, the devil is playing in it, which is why I'm bringing this up. On the right, within the center, there is Nebraska and Kansas. Below it is Arkansas, close by. On the left, there is Wyoming and Idaho. Within Wyoming, you have ancestor spirits that are beloved, that do a lot to maintain this land, in addition to all ancestors. However, the devil is in there too. Figuratively and literally. Coulter's Hell and the Yellowstone. There is the devil within there, along with other national parks where many individuals have gone missing across the United States, and the source of those missing are within what I just said. There's a hidden source there within that Yellowstone. The Yellowstone isn't the problem. It is the unseen that created the Yellowstone. And it's really not what created. The Yellowstone was created by something else. What created the Yellowstone was also created by something else. And that other something else is Earth's problem collectively. And it relates to 1,000. Funny, that number 1,000. Now, the first Tingling Tuesday events happened as a result of 1,000 individuals performing a hexing done on to me. The thing that created the Yellowstone is about 1,000 times bigger than the Yellowstone itself, and I'm starting to sense that it also related to 1,000 at least cons, C-O-N, who participated in making that manifest. Now, the problem with the 5 remaining states that are potentially habitable are a problem for me, or why I find this to be a problem for my purpose is that there is an extraterrestrial run cult or cult group that they reside within the 5 states that will be remaining here in the United States. And this group, they appear human. They look like humans. They're not. And they have a religious setup in one of the states here, Kansas. I'm referring to you. That group has ties to 5 lands and religious setups within. That would be here, the USA, Japan, Canada, Mexico, and the continent of Africa. Interestingly enough, the portion that is close to the split, there is a connection to the split in the foundation in Africa. So this group is affecting the foundation of Africa as well as the foundation of the United States, in wealth distribution, as well as the protection of there's a lot physically happening around me as I am speaking, and it sounds like heavy wind. It is not just wind. That is assholes that are astral, that are playing around in the astral and coming around me. It's not going to change anything for me. I'm going to say what I want, and I don't care if it's the government or if it's alien or if it's family, friends, former family, former friends, former partners. I really don't care. You cannot stop me from speaking up, and can't scam me. I mean, you've done your worst. I'm speaking to the astral assholes. They've done their worst, from abusing me, knocking out my teeth, sexual abuse, mental abuse. I'm over all of it, which is why I'm talking about these things. This has been a problem for me the last every day of my life. Performing hexes 3 to 5 times a day, messing in the astral plane. And I'm talking about it now because it's going to affect all life. Anyway, these are low vibration cults and covens that have alien intelligence connections operating between 2 major land masses. They're in here. Now, the problem with these things that are happening is that there are siphoning and harvesting life, harvesting the life of children, of godlight beings, and the ones that aren't unalived in childhood, they perform acts onto them that create addictions, disease, and mental illness that affects them throughout their life, creating unpleasant existence and depression, among many other things. And it just makes these individuals' lives unhappy. And I can speak on this from my own experience. Now, there is a greater crime that's happening. I'm putting myself aside, crimes against me. This is not just about me. This has been happening for millennia. Within this book of Earth, this has happened 6.4 billion years. I am pointing this out about Kansas and 50 states dropping to 5, because I'm going to speak for myself and say publicly, I am he, I am she, I am Cher, and I rebuke, abandon, and cut ties with all siphoners, seen and unseen, known and unknown, across this entire planet. I cast and call judgment against all within existence, seen and unseen, known and unknown, siphoning and harvesting wealth, health, and life across this entire planet. I call final judgment against all participants, and I cut ties and strip all beings of divine coverage. I cover no man. I cover no government. I cover no state. I cover no land that hides siphoners. I cover none that grants finances to groups that harvest life of innocent. I don't care if I am an American. That is not acceptable. I don't care. I don't. That is not okay. And I'm saying it publicly. So when things start happening, who are you going to call? Please don't call God, because I said what I said. Anyway, where was I? When the split in the United States and when the split in India and Africa becomes severe, they are going to need specific Godlight sources to provide them with greater protection. I mentioned previously that it is essential, especially within this life path, that you do not attend a mass events, because they are using it against you. These individuals that are praying with you, their prayers ain't worth shit, which is why they need you to pray with them. I'm not angry. I'm just really over it. I feel no attachment to any of what is happening. I peep the game, and I am just here to publicly state divine covering to the 5 states that will remain. It does not exist. You will have to pray directly to source of all to protect you. Do not pray to Jesus. Do not pray to God, because we peep the foolishness and we're not playing games with you.